Hi, welcome to the Cosby Mike Show. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the products that I kind of formulated, the last couple of years ago, and I mentioned that in my earlier videos. I've been, studying herbs, and I'm a nutritionist. I'm also an Ayurvedic practitioner for the last few years, and I've been in the health food industry for the last 22 years. And I decided, there were so many different ingredients and so many different products out there. But when we wanted something, like I wanted something for my kids when they were getting their colds and flus, those are your daily things that we need at home. I had to go to a few different bottles. So I thought, why not I create some of these, which I know that may help or do help, in my studies and in my everyday client consultations and with my family and my kids, because my kids always we have a cabinet full of supplements in our home for the last 22 years. So I created my own brand, of course, the EcoFlow brand. That has a history and a story behind it too. But today we'll be talking about Ginger Zinger. I mean, that's one of the syrups that I formulated last, I think, just before COVID. And basically, the story behind this is, my kids, and when you get a cold or flu going to school when they were younger, always with the mucus, heavy breathing. And of course, my son and my wife always kind of fought allergies and stuff, which I luckily didn't have any or don't have any, but they did. And always the mucus kind of in their chest. And we did, of course, the Indian remedies, the Ayurvedic remedies, of course, the ginger. But I found a few herbs that really worked well when I was seeing my clients at the store and stuff. So I decided, why not give these to my kids? And I did, but they didn't like the taste. They would give a fuss, taking it. So we came up with a great idea where I added honey. Once I started studying Ayurveda and stuff, honey also is used a lot to break up that mucus in your system. It could be, of course, mostly the lungs. And however the mucus comes up, maybe after the cold or the flu or allergies through your nasal, post-drip. So I kind of added a few different things, and which we'll take quickly look at that. And that's how I came up with Ginger Zinger. And you'll see that in my post earlier today that I added showed you exactly what the ingredients were. Of course, the main ingredient is ginger. And, ginger, everybody knows now, is anti-inflammatory. It's a great circulatory herb, which really helps with improving circulation throughout the system. In Ayurveda, it's used in general to improve Agni. And if a lot of you understand, Agni is of a fire within. So make sure digestively as a food also, but also inflammation and breaking down that inflammation in your joints and throughout the system. So ginger, it warms up the body, increases its temperature, so you can fight any infections. So it's used a lot of different ways. So I added ginger with that, and it really breaks up that mucus in the lungs. Now, the other herbs which you may not have heard of, Osha. Osha is another herb, the Western herb that's used, which we sold a lot with helping people with sore throats and after a cold. It really stimulates the white blood cells to fight infections, and especially the bronchitis area and the pharynx in the throat. So I added some of that in there, but it's very bitter, so I had to be very careful, and that's where I added honey with it. And now wild cherry bark also loosens up the mucus, but it really calms the respiratory, the system just around the lungs. It really calms the nerves, so there's not too much anxiety there. And of course, helping relieve some of that mucus and letting it flow together with licorice. Now, licorice, of course, again, taste-wise, very bitter. Kids will not like, or even adults sometimes don't like. So, but that really helps with the ginger and the honey to really break that mucus down to a point where if you breathe or if you're having fluids, it will slowly put it through the system. And that's what you want. So, Ginger Zinger, not only for colds and flus, but bronchitis, asthma, any kind of respiratory issues, smokers' lungs, second chain smokers' lungs, if you're going on high altitude, sports. My son was playing or does play soccer. He's an avid soccer player and an athlete. So in the allergy season, he would get heavy breathing, and I would give him a couple of teaspoons of this, or I would just give him a half a teaspoon in warm water, because again, warm water breaks down the mucus. See, cold brings dampness, so you want to avoid all those cold fluids and stuff when you're having those kind of issues. And warm or hot teas are the best thing. So adding half a teaspoon or 1 teaspoon in your tea, maybe now and then, just to keep that flow through your lungs. Or if you are sick, recently my daughter Shaila, of course, she had a bad cold where she was congested a lot after the 3 days. So that's all I gave her for the 3 days straight, 4 cups in a day, having some ginger, having honey, of course, this with it. So just a teaspoon with some warm water. And I just see the link below, it's on our website available. There's a lot of information there, and you can, of course, search on Google and all these herbs that I mentioned: ginger, osha root, licorice, wild cherry, and it's based with honey. So I hope that brings you some information, and I hope you like that. And we'll be bringing more of these every week. So stay tuned to the Cosmic Mike Show. Have a great week. Thank you.